Tonight on SUTV News, President-elect Donald Trump is in Hershey right now on his thank you tour, and we'll have a live look in just a few minutes.
And later, a Red Raider legend finally threw in the towel. We'll take a look back at her historic career.
All that and more right now.
Thanks for joining us on SUTV News. I'm Isabella Marcelino.
And I'm Marshall Keeling. President-elect Donald Trump continues his thank you tour through the battleground states across the country. This is the first time a president-elect has done a thank you tour. The rallies are to promote national unity and map out Donald Trump's plans for the presidency. Tonight he's in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and SUTV's Marina Barnett is there now. Marina?
Thanks, Marshall. As you can see, we are just moments away from Vice President-elect Mike Pence and President-elect Donald Trump coming out on stage here for their thank you tour stop in Hershey. The crowd is really filling in. There's a lot of energy in the room. And this stop in Hershey was particularly important because it was the first time in nearly 30 years that Pennsylvania elected a Republican presidential candidate. Now tonight, President-elect Donald Trump is expected to talk about his economic and military goals. We're going to keep you guys updated throughout the show, and we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Marina.
State police released the name of the man accused of stealing a police vehicle last Friday afternoon. 37-year-old Jeremiah Metcalf was parked on private property when officers asked him to exit his vehicle. Police say Metcalf fled on foot before stealing a police SUV. His preliminary court hearing is scheduled for December 19th. Shippensburg University got its part of $1 million Governor Wolf set aside to fight sexual assault on college campuses. Darby Sells has the story.
Campus women's advocate groups won $27,000 in the It's On Us campaign to advance services on campus.
I think this is Pennsylvania's way of saying, if you've got a good idea, we want to help you make that happen. And we want to take down some of those barriers and obstacles that are preventing you from implementing that. And money is really important in adding additional resources to your campus.
SHIP already has the SHIP Says No More campaign to bring awareness and resources of sexual assault and domestic violence.
So this was kind of the next step. We've done a lot of prevention and education. Now we need to break down some of those barriers that may be preventing students from reporting or seeking services. We want to make sure that they have access, really clear access to all of those things.
The grant helps set up a hotline solely for SHIP students provided by the YWCA of Carlisle.
We will be able to provide crisis support over the hotline. We will be able to help students through any kind of medical care that they might need after an assault. Support through police interviews, answering questions about things, letting people know what their rights are, those types of things.
The grant money will also pay for easier access to resources.
We're hoping to develop an app that students can use. So literally putting the tools to end sexual assault and domestic violence literally in the palm of their hand. So they can put that on their phone, and then they'll have access to those resources at any time.
According to the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, more than 90% of sexual assault victims on college campuses do not report the assault, a statistic SHIP advocates want to change.
We're not saying that someone needs to report right away. This is a personal decision for them to make, but we want to make sure they're not reporting. It does not have anything to do with it being hard.
Making the process easier, as the grant says, is on us. Darby Sells, SUTV News.
Remaining funds of the grant will go towards buying software for encrypted reporting.
The Sixth Amendment ensures the accused the right to a speedy and public trial by impartial jury. But finding an impartial jury is complex, and the process often leaves people out. As Ian Fitzgerald finds, young adults are often left out of the jury box in Pennsylvania courtrooms.
When it comes down to it, what we need on jurors is we need decision makers. Sometimes that's harder to determine with a young person.
David Freed is a district attorney in Cumberland County. He's been selecting who can sit for jury duty for years, and during those years, he's had to make decisions of who gets to be a juror solely based off of looks.
Sometimes you do, in jury selection, have to judge a book by its cover, because you only have a very limited amount of time, you have a very limited amount of information. So we have a little book with a little form that was filled out, maybe have a chance to ask 1 or 2 questions, and then we as lawyers have to make a determination right then.
Although citizens can start being selected for jury duty at the age of 18, they may have to wait another 12 years if they want to sit in seats, such as these.
Being a former prosecution and defense attorney, Dr. Stephanie Gerard has also had her fair share of jury selection. She believes it is more than just looks that decides if young people get picked.
Typically, trial attorneys such as myself, we don't value young people on a jury. And that is because most young people just haven't lived long enough to have a great deal of experience. And most young people are very passionate about what they believe in. They see the world really as black or white.
Although there may be some truth to these stereotypes, David Freed knows they're not always true.
As I've gotten older and I've learned more about trying cases, I've learned that that's not necessarily the case, and you have to look a little bit deeper into the person.
But it can be hard to look deeper into a person in such short time.
When I was doing jury selection, it was the most tense-filled moments of the trial for me, because it was like speed dating, but you were married to these people. You didn't have much time to get to know them, and yet you were going to be stuck with them, and they were going to decide whether the fate of your client.
Because of this quick selection process, young people seem to be the odd man out.
We make these shortcuts about who people are that do people a disservice, because of course they could be perfectly qualified to sit on a jury and make a fair and impartial decision based on the evidence. And we've already eliminated them because of who we think they are.
It seems if young people are to be more involved in courtrooms, the process of how people get picked will have to change.
Removing peremptory challenges is one way we could see young people become more involved in jury decisions in the future. SHIP is on President Obama's Higher Education Community Service Honor Roll. The Career and Community Engagement Center says SHIP has nearly 5,000 students doing community service projects. Students have worked in almost 61,000 hours in community service. If you would like to find volunteer opportunities in our community, go to ship.edu/career and sign up for the volunteer email list.
The Christmas tree in the Cub isn't just for decoration. Bernadette Koff tells us how it gave back to the community.
The tree's ornaments were angel tags, labeled with the child's name whose family cannot afford to buy them presents, their age, and a type of toy. SHIP started the month with 200 tags, but quickly ran out.
So we're up to 300 tags throughout the campus, and this is not just students that participate, but faculty and staff do too. So they're getting to the point now that it's a habit. It's a habitual thing that they're actually looking for in order to try to give back and provide to people who are less fortunate.
Marilyn Miller knows how important it is to provide the same opportunities she's had to the less fortunate.
I've always enjoyed very nice Christmases and have had lots of opportunities, and I wanted to provide the opportunity for my chapter to give that to children who don't have as many opportunities as I have had or my other sisters have had.
311 families will get gifts this year, coming from over 2,000 angels in Chambersburg and Shippensburg. The university began ornamenting a tree in 2014 and is the only one in Shippensburg.
So it does well there, and we appreciate it so much. I mean, you people don't know. You just don't know. But we can't do it without you.
Each family gets a box with 2 toys and an outfit per child. All the boxes are filled this year and ready for distribution day. For SUTV News, I'm Bernadette Koff.
While there are no more presents to buy, you can still donate to the Salvation Army and support the Angel Tree Project. Go to SUTVnews.com to find out how. After years of hard work, hundreds of Shippensburg students earn their degrees this weekend. Shippensburg alumni Rebecca Howland will present the address at the master's degree ceremony on Friday. Howland is the program manager at the University of Massachusetts Civic Institute. Senator Patricia Vance will deliver her speech during the undergraduate ceremony on Saturday. Vance was elected to the Pennsylvania Senate in 2005 after 14 years in the Commonwealth House of Representatives. More than 100 graduate students and 300 undergraduate students get their degrees. The master's ceremony begins at 7 in the Lurs Performing Arts Center, and the undergraduate ceremony is Saturday morning at 11 in Higas Fieldhouse.
When you think back on 2016, what comes to mind? After the break, we'll take a look at some of the biggest stories of 2016 for SHIP students.
But first, play along as we test our Anchor's Christmas knowledge. All right, Marshall, so here is your question. On the 5th day of Christmas, what does my true love give to me? All right, so think about that one, and we'll see if Marshall can come up with an answer when we come back. All right, Marshall, so do you think you know the answer?
Yeah, I think I do. It's 5 golden rings, if I'm not mistaken.
Isn't that from such a great song? I love Christmas music.
Yeah, it's okay, I
Do you
guess.
have a favorite song?
I would have to go with Sleigh Ride. Something about that ring ting tingling just gets me right here, you know what I'm saying?
It's great.
Tonight we close the book on the fall semester at SUTV, but it's been a busy one, both on campus and in the news. Paige Ahrensmeyer has a review of the top stories of the semester.
Perhaps the biggest story of the year would be the presidential election. In November, Donald Trump was elected the new president of the United States. Although he hasn't taken office yet, there have already been a series of riots and protests against the president-elect. SHIP students had an extended fall break this year after the professors went on a 3-day strike. But they did not strike alone. Students were quick to show their support.
The students should be out here today because the faculty's out here. They're fighting for our education, and so we get a quality education, and we should be here supporting them.
Bras Across Campus was a hit in October. Students and faculty brought extra awareness to breast cancer by stringing bras across campus. 2 SHIP alum even created a movie involving breast cancer survivors and their stories to remind women to get tested.
Have you felt yourself today?
Lastly, a big honor for SUTV when nominated for 2 Emmys. First nomination was for our coverage of the Shippensburg Make-A-Wish basketball game, where the team and fans honored a young boy with a brain tumor. The second nomination took home the gold when alumni Holly Hare won an Emmy for her package Inclusion in Action. With SUTV News, I'm Paige Ahrensmeyer.
Make sure you stay with us in the spring for a new year of big news.
Venezuelan citizens are exchanging their bills for coins.
And an English business has an interesting job opening. Here's Charles with the World News.
On Wednesday, the Syrian government took back parts of the Syrian city of Aleppo, where rebel forces kept shelter. On Tuesday, government forces took back the eastern half of the city. Russia and Turkey brokered a ceasefire, and plans are underway to evacuate the civilians in the next few days. Tropical cyclone Varda hit the coast of India this week. It is the strongest cyclone since 2014, carrying winds of over 60 miles per hour. This is the first cyclone on the Bay of Bengal to reach hurricane force in 2016. Heavy rainfall hit towns like Chennai, causing damage to a handful of the town's important areas, such as its airport. Earlier this week, the Venezuelans were given just 72 hours to swap their largest bills for the newly issued coin currency. President Nicolas Maduro said the emergency decree was aimed at mafias smuggling the notes outside the country. This change in currency leaves smugglers with valueless paper. During this exchange period, all borders going in and out of the country have been closed, so smugglers won't spend all of their bills in neighboring countries. This is the latest in a series of measures by the Venezuelan government to help alleviate their current economic crisis. A London firm is looking to hire the world's first emoji translator. The company says it needs an emoji expert to decode how emojis translate across cultures and languages. More than 100 people from around the world have applied, even taking an online test to accurately decipher words, phrases, and messages conveyed using only emojis. Back to you guys at the desk.
When we come back in entertainment, find out what events APB is lining up for the spring semester.
And some of our talented SUTV crew made a very special entry in a gingerbread house contest. Check out the construction after the break.
Man, I tell you, I felt like that wind was going to blow me over today.
Yeah, I really had a tough time holding onto my kite today. Let's send it over to Rebecca to see what the weather will be like for this weekend's commencement.
The coldest weather of the year is upon us. Tonight, temperatures drop to a low of 11. Tomorrow, partly cloudy skies with a high of 26 and a chance of snow at night. In the 5-day, Saturday, expect an icy mix in the morning with a high of 45 and a low of 42. Sunday, expect partly cloudy skies and a chance of rain with a high of 52 and a low of 21. For the start of our week, the sun starts to peek out. Monday, a high of 34, and Tuesday with a high of 38. Keep an eye on your email for any possible postponement of Saturday's graduation. Good luck on the rest of your finals and have a happy holiday season, Ship.
The holiday season's almost here, but first, entertainment news. With award seasons heating up, the Golden Globes just announced their nominees. The movie La La Land has 7 nominations, starring actors Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. In television, The People vs. O.J. Simpson garnered 5 nominations. Courtney B. Vance was nominated for Best Actor in a Miniseries. Hacksaw Ridge, starring Andrew Garfield, took 3 nominations. The Golden Globes is on January 8th, 2017. You can make your predictions for Best Drama and Best Comedy or Musical at SUTVnews.com. Yet another Star Wars film is coming to a theater near you. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, depicts the efforts of a single rebel soldier's mission to steal the plans for the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star. In many ways, Rogue One blazes a new path for the franchise as the first standalone Star Wars film. The rebel soldier Jyn Erso is joined by a cast of colorful space misfits. Rogue One also features some familiar faces to play on your Star Wars nostalgia. Rogue One is in theaters tonight. NBC's singing competition The Voice crowned its newest winner. Soulful singer Sundance Head emerged victorious after weeks of intense competition. Head's success gives Blake Shelton his 5th win as a coach. Team Adam's Billy Gilman came in 2nd place, and Team Alicia's Wee McDonald came in 3rd. The Voice returns in February. APB doesn't stop working when the semester is over. The board will be still hard at work planning events for next semester over winter break. APB will be bringing back popular events, but also implementing and adding some new ones.
Basically, next semester we're definitely keeping the bingos because that's very popular in our campus. We love giving away prizes. We're also having Glow Rage. We had it last semester, well, spring semester 2016. So we're bringing that back, which is like a big paint party, which seemed to go really well over the campus.
Returning events will be also in the spring. A baseball game, bus trip to New York City, and the APB Spring Concert. APB will be working out all the details, getting a cruise together for spring break. That's it for entertainment this semester. Have a great holiday.
After 18 years at the helm, legendary field hockey coach Bertie Landis has retired as head coach at Shippensburg.
And for the first time in 10 years, the men's basketball team is ranked top 25 in the coaches' poll. All that and more after the break.
Ship's own Bertie Landis, the winningest coach in all of D2 college field hockey, is retiring after 18 seasons as head coach. During Landis' tenure, she posted 302 wins, 77 losses, and 1 tie. Landis is qualified for the NCAA National Tournament 12 out of her 18 seasons and led the 2013 and 2016 teams to Shippensburg's only national titles. Caitlin Grazin was a member of both championship teams and played under Coach Landis all 4 years.
She was a good coach. She always inspired us. She always taught us to always work hard. She always pushed us. So.
A new head coach has not yet been named. In his first season as head basketball coach, Chris Veit's team finished 3rd and 23. Now 3 years later, the Raiders are undefeated and ranked in the top 25 coaches poll for the first time since 2006. The key to a quick turnaround has been recruiting players who know what it takes to win.
Really talented young men in the program and guys that are all about winning. They're from winning traditions, and They're very unselfish. They work hard, high basketball IQ, and we play together, and we take pride in what we put out there.
The Raiders will put their undefeated season on the line this Monday against Shepherd University at 7 p.m. in Higas Fieldhouse. Junior Evan Ramos claimed gold at the PSAC Wrestling Championship, becoming the first Raider to win the championship in 9 years. Ramos completed a perfect day, going 3-0 with an 8-5 decision over Haven's Tristan Sponseller in a tightly contested final. Ramos is the first wrestler to win a championship at the 197-pound weight class and is just the 8th wrestler in Shippensburg history to win a PSAC title. Shippensburg's 133-pounder Cole Rush finished a 6th as a true freshman, while both Cody Blankship and Adam Martz both earned 2 decisions. The Raiders return to action January 7th at Ursinus College's North-South Duels. Junior Tracy Davis was named the Men's Indoor Track and Field PSAC Athlete of the Week for breaking his own personal record at Bucknell University. Davis had past success at Bucknell, posting 6'7" jump as a freshman, and now has a new personal record of 6 feet 10 inches. The jump ranks 3rd in NCAA Division II history and marks the first PSAC Athlete of the Week award to Davis. Davis is a 2-time NCAA championship qualifier in outdoor track and looks to qualify for the Men's Indoor Championship this season. That's it for sports. Let's head back to the desk.
That's it for SUTV News. I'm Marshall Keeley.
And I'm Isabella Marcelino. As always, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram at SUTV News. And check out our website, SUTVnews.com.
Happy holidays from the entire SUTV crew. We'll see you after winter break.